Hey everybody, welcome back to Gideon Stuff. So, you want to see my Feldspar collection, huh? Well, I am super excited to share it with you. I must say, I'm really proud. All of my Feldspars I've collected myself, so let's go ahead and jump right into this. First off, we gotta start with some nice plagioclase Feldspars. This one's pretty cool. This one's an absolute monster. Look how big that crystal is. Got one here that's perthitic. Look at that exolution in there. Isn't that cool? Of course. Can't forget our orthoclase feldspars. These are some really massive feldspars. These are just big ones. I've also got a ton that I pulled out of like pegmatites. Look at this, has plagioclase and orthoclase, as well as a bunch of thick mica books, but this isn't about mica or rocks. You just want to see the feldspars. Well, this is my feldspar box right here. We've got all kinds of cool stuff. Look at that crystal. Look at that one. Isn't that awesome? Still in a piece of granite. Fantastic. We got another piece of orthoclase. Oh, these are not the feldspars you're here for, are they? No, it's fine. It's fine. I understand. We'll go get the knives. Hey everybody, welcome back to Gideon Stuff again. Yeah, we're going to be going over my CJRB feldspar collection. We're outside right now, so there's going to be street noise. My damn air conditioner is probably going to turn on eventually and be annoying, but let's go ahead and do it. It's a beautiful day out here. I love the CJRB feldspar. I really do. It's probably my favorite knife in a lot of ways. I own more versions of the feldspar than any other knife. It's very rare for me to own duplicates of a knife, and I have 7 feldspars. They're all very different, to be fair, but yeah, it's a design that I really love. And yes, part of the reason I love it is because it is named after a mineral group. And as a geologist, yeah, that tickles my funny bone. But yeah, we're going to talk about that just briefly. Feldspars are aluminum silicate minerals, and they're very common. They're among the most common minerals on Earth's surface. And I've got a couple of examples right here. Here's a nice little, this is a plagioclase crystal. When you're finding feldspars, just hand sample, you picked it up in the field. There's 2 main groups of feldspars that you're going to identify it as: plagioclase or potassium feldspar. And there's three end members of feldspar. But basically, potassium feldspars or K-spars are feldspars that have potassium, right? And then plagioclase feldspars exist on kind of a spectrum between calcium-rich and sodium-rich, albite and anorthite. But yeah, there's a bunch of different species of feldspar. Feldspar is a group of minerals, not a specific mineral. But they form really nice crystals. Here's one that actually, this broke in half. There used to be another part growing here, but you can see really nice the cleavage that's indicative of feldspars. Typically, your K-spars are going to be pinkish colors. This is orthoclase. Plagioclase crystals tend to be white. This is a green rock. There are green feldspars like microcline. There's the air conditioning. Microcline is a variety of potassium feldspar, and sometimes it forms these green crystals that are called amazonite. But this is actually epidote, and epidote is a alteration mineral. It's a secondary mineral that replaces plagioclase in a lot of metamorphic rocks. And that's exactly what this is right here. So I think that's kind of cool, obviously. So I wanted to share a little bit of that. All right, I promise that's as sciencey as we're going to get in this video. I have done this video before. I did do a while back, like a year plus ago. I did a video kind of going over my CJRB feldspar collection at the time, but it has grown. So we're going to do it again. And during that video, I talked a little bit more about feldspars if you're interested. Okay, so let's talk about these in chronological order, in the order that I got them. So first of all, my original Feldspar, the OG, is this guy right here. This is one of the original Feldspars. This one is so old that it still has the mushroom screws before they started using the flat screws. But this knife, this was unlike any other knife I had experienced at the time. I absolutely fell in love with this knife. I got this knife very early into my EDC enthusiast journey, I guess you could call it. But great action. I mean, the detail on this thing it's superb. Absolutely superb. I love the inset liner lock. Access to the lock bar on all of these is amazing. And those contoured scales, that was a game changer. That was a game changer. Oh, this feels so good in the hand. Just wonderful. Great clip. It's reversible. I love the pivot collars. Pivot collars are underrated in my opinion. I mean, look how classy that looks. Look how snazzy that is. More companies should do pivot collars. Great blade. This is D2 stonewash. Pretty good stonewash. This is basically the perfect blade shape for EDC. It's nice and pokey, nice and slicey. It's robust enough to not be fragile, but it's also, you know, decently slicey. It doesn't come down to the thinnest edge, but I mean, you can see there, we get decently thin. These things are about 20 thousandths behind the edge. That's perfectly fine for me. I think this is one of the most well-rounded EDC knives ever made. And even this old version here is fantastic. Great thumb studs on these things too. Oh. And of course, since I've had this one for so long, you can see that it has broken in just beautifully. Really, really like that knife. Okay, the next one I got, I think is this one here. This is a Knife Center exclusive mini Feldspar. This is the small Feldspar. Size comparison. And even though it's a small Feldspar, the small Feldspars aren't like tiny knives. They're small knives, but like I can get a full 4-finger grip on here, you know, just barely. I can even choke up, but I've got, you know, fingers that are on the skinnier side, I guess. Whenever I describe my hand size in these videos, I have big man-sized palms, but very short fingers. Can you see that? Very short, kind of slender, like girl fingers. So, man-sized palm, woman fingers. That's how my hands work. But the ergos on this thing are still really good. Inset liners, contoured scales, reversible clip, all the best hits from that original, just smaller. And I got this one because I thought it was really, really funny. I call this knife my CJRB microcline. And the reason is because it's the small Feldspar, micro, right? But microcline is a variety of potassium Feldspar that it's the variety that you get Amazonite from, but it's pretty much identical to orthoclase, right? They have the same chemical composition. The difference is that orthoclase is monoclinic and microcline is triclinic. Those are their crystalline structures. But in hand sample, like if I was holding a piece of microcline and a piece of orthoclase, I would not be able to tell them apart in hand sample. You can't distinguish them. They're that similar. But if you look at them under a petrographic microscope, you can tell them apart because microcline has what we call tartan twinning or crosshatch twinning. And basically, this is a pattern where in the microscope, it looks like you have these, the tartan name comes from the pattern that was used on like Scottish kilts. Very similar to this burlap micarta. And so that just tickled my funny bone so much. It's a small Feldspar, microcline, it has a crosshatch pattern. So yeah, this is my microcline Feldspar. And because of that, I absolutely love this little knife. I find that to be so goofy. Another thing with a small Feldspar though is unlike a lot of small knives, this one's really very easy to manipulate. Like, thank you for finally turning off, loud ass piece of crap. But yeah, very easy to manipulate. Thumb studs feel great. Axis lock bar is still great. I really like this knife a whole lot. And the stonewash on this blade is actually better than the original. This is still D2. And the Feldspar I got after that was another small one and another exclusive. This was a Blade HQ exclusive mini Feldspar with the S35VN. So this used to have the jade. Something dripped on me. This used to have the jade G10 scales, but I dyed them this dark blue color. I think this knife looks really, really awesome. S35VN is, you know, a really cool steel. It's an upgrade from D2 for sure. And yeah, I was really, really excited to get this knife. My one complaint with this knife is that it has a black pivot collar. I think that's a waste. That's stupid. I wish that it would have had, you know, different color pivot collar. But yeah, very similar to the other knife. It's a small Feldspar. It's all the greatest hits, just S35VN. And of course, I'm not sure if I pointed out with this one, but we're starting to get the recessed screws. The pocket clip that CJRB uses is wonderful. Wonderful. I love it. Next, what was the next Feldspar I got? I think it was, yeah, I think it was this. I can't remember this one. We'll show this one first. It might have been the other one I got, but I call this my Sith Feldspar. This is my dark side Feldspar. I love this knife. Red pivot collar. Love that pop of color. Otherwise, all black. If you wanted to black this one, if I want to, actually, I could probably take the pivot collar off of this one and swap it out, make it all black, but I'm not going to because I like the red. But yeah, this is a sexy, sexy looking knife. Absolutely love it. The main differences between this knife and my original Feldspar, because we're back to the full-size one now, is this has AR RPM 9, which is a steel that I really like. I know, there's been drama with that recently. I think Artisan Cutlery's response to that drama was fantastic. It's exactly what I thought it was. They weren't trying to deceive anyone. They just didn't understand the process fully. It was a misunderstanding. They owned up to it, and good on them. Good on them. I like AR RPM 9. I've been happy with it. Never going to back down from AR RPM 9. But the other big difference with this knife is it doesn't have the contoured scales. It has smooth scales. And honestly, it's still very, very comfortable. Not quite as comfortable, but the ergonomic lines of this knife are fantastic. This feels really, really good in hand. Same great action. This might currently be my most carried Feldspar. Maybe. There is one that is probably going to become more carried than this, but I really, really like this Feldspar quite a bit. This is an awesome knife. Awesome, awesome knife. I wish CJRB would, because it looks like all their AR RPM 9 Feldspars are the ones with the flat scales. I wish they'd do some with the contour scales. And speaking of contour scales, I did have another Feldspar that I think I got before this one. I think I showed it on the channel a couple times, but it was the brown G10 original version. I ended up giving that one to a friend, and they love it, as I knew they would. I really liked that brown G10, though. You know, it was contoured, and it kind of looked like micarta mixed with wood. I really enjoyed it. It was kind of cool. All right, next up. This is the White Mountain Knives exclusive button lock Feldspar. This was the first time this had been done. There's a lot I like about this knife. This is my only... Actually, I was going to say, this is my only Feldspar with linen micarta. Obviously, I've got the burlap micarta on this guy. Love that electric blue pivot color. Man, that is gorgeous. Reversible clip, and this one has contoured scales. And this one is so comfortable. This might be the most comfortable in hand. Hard to say because they're all really, really nice. This one just, oh, it feels great. I got the satin bladed version. There's also a black bladed version. Button lock action works fine. But yeah, really, really cool knife. Enjoy this one. I enjoy this one quite a bit. And the next one I got was another White Mountain Knives exclusive. It's the large Feldspar. So this is the big Feldspar that has the flipper tab. Size comparison. I got this one recently, did a full review on it. And you guys might remember I was a little bit let down. I was a little bit disappointed. I was very, very excited to get this knife. I loved, you know, the idea of the blue fat carbon. I wish mine had a little more blue, but, you know, it's there. It's blue fat carbon. I love blue. M390 blade, and it's a bigger Feldspar. It's a frame lock, titanium frame lock. The action on mine was not the best. I fiddled with it, made it better. And there were some other things with this knife. Again, you can watch the full review that I was disappointed with, but I do still love the knife. It is still a worthy addition to my CJRB Feldspar collection. It's a good looking knife. I kind of want to see them revisit this XL Feldspar. It is also contoured slightly, not as contoured as the others. In fact, I think this is actually the thinnest one. Yeah, it is definitely thinner than the regular. It's about the same thickness as a mini. Yeah, I'm a big fan of this. I like the idea of a flipper Feldspar. I think doing it on this bigger version is the way to go. I'd like to see them revisit this and maybe do some other things. Maybe I'll get another one of these and see if it's, you know, if it was just my particular one that had issues. But all right, now we're on to my most recent Feldspar, and one that I've been carrying the snot out of. It's another button lock Feldspar with the steel scales and the Damascus blade. And this Damascus blade is gorgeous. I love that. The weight on this thing is amazing, and the feel in hand. CJRB, they know what they're doing with steel scales. They make them feel so premium. This knife feels amazing. It's kind of a mix between the Feldspar and the Pyrite. It's really, really nice. I really enjoy this knife a lot. I'm not the biggest button lock fan, but CJRB does a good button lock. This one feels very solid. Great action. Just a classy looking knife. And I'm not someone that's the biggest Damascus fan, but I have been carrying this knife a lot. I'm going to be making a video maybe here pretty soon talking about the performance on the Damascus or whatever. This is going to need a sharpening here in a little bit, but man, this thing is fantastic. I also love, just like the Pyrite, they gave you like a little scoop here for the thumb stud. Great action. This thing feels superb. Superb. It might be my favorite Feldspar. Maybe. I don't know. You know, that's a hard choice to make. It's a very hard choice to make. Maybe, you know what? We're going to take some time real quick, and we're going to rank my Feldspar collection from least favorite to favorite. All right, let's see if we can try and rank these knives from favorite to least favorite. And I feel like I don't have to say this, but obviously I like all of these knives. They're all part of my collection, but yeah, let's see if I can sort out my feelings on them. This is going to be really, really hard. By the way, I'm doing this on my kitchen countertops. These are granite countertops, and I was really impressed when I moved into this house. I was like, oh wow, these are actual granite countertops. And I want to show some stuff real quick. So these big white splotches here, those are all big Feldspar crystals. The gray stuff, you can kind of see, maybe it's not coming across on camera, but like right there is quartz. The reds, these are garnets. And these kind of black stripes and gold stripes, you see them going all over the place here. Those are micas, biotite and muscovite, probably. There's a really nice garnet right there, actually, just off screen. There's a nice one. But yeah, I like these countertops. They're very, very nice. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. Favorite? Actually, we'll go least favorite to favorite. Should I bring them all out? Or should I bring them out as I talk about them? Yeah, we'll bring them out as we talk about them and line them up. Honestly, this might be surprising. My least favorite is the White Mountain Knives exclusive button lock Feldspar. Now this is the only one that has a contoured scales besides the original. I love the way this knife feels in hand. It's super, super comfortable. But I'm not the biggest fan of the way this button feels. Nothing functionally wrong with the button. It's just a flat button that's just kind of sticking out of the scale. Unlike on this button lock Feldspar, you know, it has like, I don't know, just feel like a little more care and attention was put into it, and it feels better. I love the colors. I love this micarta. The blue on pivot collar is gorgeous, but I really hate the blade finish. If I could go back, I'd probably, if I had one of these that had the black blade, it would probably rank higher. But this, you can see here, this blade, holy cow, look at all those scratches. I'm not even sure what I was doing with this knife, but over the course of the time I've been using this knife, it has just been really, really messed up. So yeah, not the greatest satin finish. It's also just a little too sparkly. But yeah, I like a lot about this knife. Again, the ergonomics are great. I do wish it had jimping. This has a very smooth spine. Cool knife, really, really cool knife. I like it a lot, but yeah, that was probably my least favorite. Next up, this is tough. This is tough. Between a mini and an XL, and actually, might even be. You know what? We're going to go with this one. So this is also a Y Mountain Knives exclusive. This is the large Feldspar. This is the flipper frame lock version. I was so excited about this knife. There's so much that I want to love with this knife. It's got the blue fat carbon. I wish there was more blue. That's one of the reasons why it's going to be placed lower. But this knife, honestly, was kind of disappointing to me. I did a full review on this. The action was not that great out of the box. I've since fiddled with the action and made it better. I wish this flipper tab had some jimping. Wish the blade had some jimping. The ergos are really nice. Kind of thin. Honestly, I wish it was more hand filling. M390 blade, beautiful stonewash. It's a great looking knife, and you know, the idea of a large Feldspar that has a flipper was always really, really appealing to me. But yeah, this knife just kind of, it wasn't everything I was hoping it would be. It kind of fell short, so that's why it's going to be next. And then probably my the minis are probably going to be next. I like the small Feldspar a lot, but yeah, they're just, I don't know. I don't carry the small ones as much as the others. Now, which small one first? So both of these are exclusives, as we've talked about. I don't know. These are actually, I probably like these ones about the same. They're both really, really cool. We'll go with the microcline. There's a lot I like about this knife. This one looks very, I like the look of this. I like burlap micarta. This looks like a working man's knife. I love that stonewash. We've talked about that. Beautiful, beautiful stonewash. I love the connection with the crosshatch, you know, tartan twinned micarta scales. Yeah, we're gonna put that one. We're gonna put that one next. Again, I love that knife. I really love that knife. The only reason I'm gonna put this one higher is because S35VN is probably my favorite steel ever. I dyed the scales myself. I had a lot of fun doing that. So this was, you know, kind of a project knife in a way, even though, you know, it's not a huge mod to dye scales, but it's fun to do. So yeah, we're gonna put the Blade HQ S35VN Feldspar next. And for a long time, that was actually my Feldspar that had the most premium steel until this one came along. And actually, I like S35VN better than M390, but whatever. Okay, now we're getting down to the really hard stuff. We're down to my original Feldspar, my dark side Feldspar, and the Damascus Feldspar, the newest Feldspar. Oh, and this is going to be rough. This is going to be rough. Ooh, I like all these knives so much. I think next I'm going to put... I don't know. So my Darth Vader Feldspar, I absolutely love. This is an amazing knife. I carry this one a lot. This is just a great knife. It looks good too. I love the pop of red. It has the flat scales, and it feels good in hand, but not as good as the contoured scales. And so we're gonna put it next. And now, one thing this knife has that I like better than this one is this one has an AR RPM 9 blade. This one is D2. But man, those contoured scales, those really push this knife over the top for me. But this one here, I've been carrying this one so much recently. I love the feel of these steel scales. I really like this button lock. You know, this is kind of like the Pyrite and this Feldspar had a baby. But is it recency bias? Might be recency bias. I think I already made a video like this ranking my CJRB collection, and I might have put this knife as my favorite Feldspar last time, but I don't know, I'm really feeling this. You know what? I'm going to say this is my favorite Feldspar right now. I love the look of the Damascus. I love the feel of the steel scales. The button lock is kind of fun. I'm not even really a button lock person, but I think CJRB does a good job of them. So yeah, there we go. That's going to be all my Feldspars ranked. Man, that was tough. Alrighty, so there we have it. Those are the 7 CJRB Feldspars that I own. I love this knife, guys. I love this knife. If you don't already own a Feldspar, I cannot recommend it enough. Shut up. I cannot recommend it enough. It's just great. It's fantastic. There is one knife that's missing from my collection. They made a titanium frame lock version of just a regular Feldspar with S35BN, and I want one of those so bad. They came in on an all black and all stonewash version, I think. I think the all black one looks best, but I'd go for either one. If you guys know anyone who's selling one, or you know is willing to part with one, let me know. They're all sold out now. They're all gone, which is a shame. But I will definitely be interested in acquiring one. So if you know of any out there, let me know. Reach out to me. Send me an email or something. But yeah, there we go. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to my channel members right here. Really appreciate everything they do for the channel. If you enjoyed this video, leave it a like, comment below, and subscribe. I've been Gideon, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios. That was a little bit out of sync. Let's do that again. I'll see you in the next one. Adios.